All right, so there's this video by a guy called Ornery. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. He does these really cool videos on Call of Duty itself and like just the amount of games that they've had and just a wide variety. But he's got the pathetic failure of Ricochet.
Call of Duty
anti-cheat,
has always had a cheating issue. Maybe not near as prominent in the early days, but some might argue it's at an all-time high at this very moment. Today I want to dive into the Ricochet anti-cheat and how it's essentially a failed service that is detrimental to the honest player and even beneficial to the actual cheaters themselves. I'll be sharing my recent shadow ban experience, a not so promising update to the anti-cheat, and 2 recent cheating scandals as well.
What's crazy about Ornery, he actually doesn't cheat. I've seen him play, he doesn't cheat
whatsoever. Go ahead
whatsoever.
and comment your thoughts on the Ricochet anti-cheat as we get started.
For what I've seen, he doesn't cheat at all.
When most people think about Ricochet anti-cheat, they immediately think of
Oh my
Warzone.
God.
And while I will say that's probably where the inspiration for a dedicated anti-cheat comes from, it also tackles the task of moderating Call of Duty multiplayer as well. Now, most of you probably knew about this, but what some of you may have not known is that Call of Duty had no dedicated anti-cheat at the launch of Warzone. Well, actually, from the launch of Warzone all the way up until the Vanguard launch window. That means for this period of time, we had little to no moderation of cheaters for, it's like about a year and a half, almost 2 years. So
That's
alongside
crazy.
Call of Duty Vanguard,
a year and a half to 2 years of no anti-cheat. Did they think no one was gonna cheat at this point, or what?
is where we finally got the Ricochet anti-cheat we all know and hate. And unfortunately, it looks like it's here to stay. But let's go back to Warzone, which is kind of going to be the litmus test for this video, which I'll explain why I do that. With most battle royales, or really any free-to-play game, it's extremely important that these games anti-cheat is really efficient. The reason for that being is that these cheaters honestly have nothing to lose since they didn't pay for the game in the first place, so all they need to do is just make another account and get right back to the hacking, if they even get banned in the first place. I'm gonna do my best to not draw comparisons to other games, but I have to talk about Valorant's Vanguard anti-cheat, which is notorious for being very efficient. There was a lot of controversy around this anti-cheat because it's seen as a rootkit to a lot of people, meaning it's accessing files and information on your computer even when the game's not running, which in turn can leave you more vulnerable to hackers and other privacy issues I
think it needs the access to it, so that way if you actually do something that you shouldn't, then at least it'll detect it, right? It'll detect what's going on with that.
Only if you aren't careful. And look, I'm not like any type of like computer science guy, but isn't that like kind of the purpose of an anti-cheat? Shouldn't it be monitoring your computer like pretty harshly to detect these kinds of softwares in the first place? Please comment if that's wrong to me, but it just feels like it's doing what a good anti-cheat is supposed to. Anyways, Ricochet claims to be able to detect these softwares and also
the new initiative, or it's a new initiative. The Ricochet anti-cheat initiative is multi-faceted. How do you even say that? Multi-faced? I don't know. Approach in Vanguard and Warzone to combat cheating, featuring new server-side tools, enhanced investigation process, updates to strengthen account security, and more.
Also has stated several times that it can detect things like Cronus, but that's just blatantly wrong. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and look up Cronus script tutorials right now for Warzone and Black Ops 6, because they are very much so alive and well. Anyways, before the introduction of Ricochet, we had a pretty bad cheating problem, but once Ricochet was implemented with Vanguard, it felt like legit nothing whatsoever changed. Cheaters were running rampant, and there was almost nothing you could do about it, except for
the fact that there's even a website listed.
Cheaters are running rampant, and there was almost nothing you could do about it, except for
good transition, by the way.
Alright, we've all been there. Spam reporting a blatant cheater and nothing gets done by it. Whereas in other games, people are getting banned mid-match without hesitation. Well, once Ricochet was introduced, the way it worked was while your game was running, the software could detect suspicious software that could be interfering with anything in the game, whatever it may be. This means like aimbat, wall hacks, Cronus, I mean anything that just like in the game,
said aimbat, but even aimbot.
This means like aimbat, wall hacks, Cronus, I mean anything that just like manipulates how the game is supposed to be played or like function really. But instead of just banning them right away, they are simply reported by the anti-cheat to Activision, and then Activision is left with the decision to ban or investigate further. Meaning this system involves an extra like manual human inspection to actually get this person banned in the first place, which makes absolutely no sense. If the player is already being reported and confirmed to have cheating software, what's stopping Ricochet from banning killing them right then and there. Now, like I said, this is what the system was at the launch of Vanguard, but I swear it hasn't evolved much since then, if at all. Meaning you probably have a very similar system to this day, hence why the cheating problem is so bad. Let's talk a little bit more about reporting. If you get killed and watch the kill cam, that kill cam only contains the data from the server, meaning 1, it's very laggy, as we all know, which results in everyone looking like they're cheating. 2, there's a lot of inaccurate information, such as the perks used or other like create a class parameters. And 3, and most importantly, I'm pretty sure to this day, it still doesn't take into account things like UAV, which give away your enemy's position, which in turn could cause you to pre-fire or hold an angle, or God forbid, wallbang someone despite being a legitimate player. This can cause you to get a false report, resulting in a...
The transitions on this one
This is actually the main reason I'm making this video, because I was recently caught in a shadow ban. Now I'm going to explain how the shadow ban system works, as if you don't know what it is. So since caught in a shadow ban. Now I'm going to...
He barely had 10 kills. What? He barely had 10 kills. He had barely had 10 kills, no spectators. 24 people left, 11 other teams. It's not including Slacked and Douglas Raw, so 21 people, 11 other teams. What?
Let's explain how the shadow ban system works, as if you don't know what it is. So since we already established that the kill cams are awful at giving the players accurate information, this can lead to a ton of false accusations.
There's a recent issue too. I don't know if he's going to mention it or not.
False reports on their account. Once a player gets enough of these during a certain period of time, they will enter a limited matchmaking state, or what the community has called a shadow ban. What this means is you will now be matched up with other players with the same status, meaning other players falsely accused and mass reported, and some actual known cheaters as well, which is awful in its own right, but the fact that this is also not eligible for appeal whatsoever and has no updates to when it expires is what makes it even worse. And on top of being mass reported, there's also like some type of invisible algorithm that detects if you're doing like above exceptional performance, and this will also result in an automatic shadow ban. And if you remember in Warzone 2, there was a state where if you just got 10 kills no matter what, the next person you aimed at, you immediately got shadow banned. Luckily that was fixed, but there's still some type of like algorithm working against the legitimate player here. So like I said, this happened to me 2 weeks ago and lasted an entire 11 days. And I am not even good at the game. I'll flash my extremely mediocre Warzone stats on screen now. And as you can see, you could maybe put me slightly above average on a good day, but other than that, I am nothing out of the ordinary.
I'm right there with them. I'm fairly decent on a good day, but there are some days where I'm dropping maybe 6, 7, 8 kills, and I die just because someone was either camping the corner or just sniping in a tower somewhere. That's the only reason why I die. But other than that, if I'm consistently moving, I have good peripherals of everything. I know what's happening. I've dropped 26 kills before. I have. I have a video of it. Dude, what is Ricochet doing, man? It's so bad. We're just in a bad
The moments leading up to the ban
now
were 2 solo resurgence games on Area 99. One was a 19-kill 3rd place finish, and the other was a 12-kill 5th place finish. Also, I want to make it clear, I don't VPN or 2box, and I know some people say you can get shadow banned for that, but I haven't seen much evidence supporting that. But I want to make it clear I don't do that either, so there's like, that's definitely not a factor in this shadow ban. Anyways, once again, maybe I was just having a good day, but I got off right after those 2 games, then got on the next day and noticed I couldn't get into a game, which is the first sign of a shadow ban. I logged into Activision's ban appeal portal, which I'll link down below for those that want to check for themselves, only to read this. Your account is in a limited matchmaking state due to a potential violation. Unfortunately, we are unable to inform you when the account will exit a limited matchmaking state. You can check back here periodically to see if your status clears or changes to a temporary or permanent ban. Exiting a limited matchmaking state does not mean your account has been cleared for a potential violation. Basically,
which technically, if they're checking it, if someone's visually checking it and they see your stats from previous, there's no way they can see that you're cheating if you're doing slightly better. But if someone just downloads the game and it goes from, let's say, so they're getting like 3, 3, 2, 1 to 30, 40, 50, 60 kills consistently, then something's wrong. But if it jumps up slowly, then I think it's fine. But if it goes from 3, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3 to like 30, 40, 50,
what
it's
this
a problem.
means is for the next X amount of days, I can't enjoy Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer or Warzone, despite paying $100 for the Vault Edition and being a perfectly legit player with no type of like cheating software on my computer or any type of exploitation either. Which, might I add, like kind of feels illegal in some type of way. I mean, I legit paid for a product, abided by the terms of service, and I'm still getting stripped away from said paid product despite not doing anything wrong. I don't want to sound like a whiny baby, but I missed out on a full week of double XP and missed out on Season 1 Reloaded. Granted, I don't think I missed out on too much with Season 1 Reloaded, but let's say this happened towards the end of a season where I couldn't finish the Battle Pass. Maybe I'm like a page off. Then I get hit with a false shadow ban and I can't complete said Battle Pass that I paid real money for despite completely following the terms of service and in turn missing out on the limited time items I paid for. Also, on a side note, I don't think Battle Passes should have like a time constraint. I think they should be permanent. You just have to play, not even in a specific window. Anyways, I'm sure they somehow snuck in the fact that they have the right to put you in a limited matchmaking state for potential violations, but that use of the word potential has become so broad that it is completely like victimizing the legitimate player. Anyways, I think it goes without saying,
it's not well put, it's worse put.
A cheater, a VPNer, or two-boxer, or really all that much of a trash talker. The reason I bring up trash talking is because if you create like, you know, feuds in game, especially like in multiplayer, more specifically ranked, and you're like trash talking the other team, or maybe you're being toxic to your teammates and everyone just decides to spam report you, this could result in a shadow ban just because you're like doing what Call of Duty players do best and just like trash talking, which is in my opinion part of the game. And you get shadow banned without literally any type of evidence.
The world's gone too soft, and it seems like Call of Duty was the only way we could express our anger because other people weren't doing what they should have been. Back then when it was multiplayer, and now when it's with Warzone, and Call of Duty is like, well, we can't have you expressing your true feelings for people who you're playing with, so you're banned. It's like, but that has been COD, and it makes everyone's day so much better because everyone just has a good laugh out about it. And all of a sudden you have people who are playing it and they're just very soft and they don't know how to take it. There's no thick skin on it. It's so
whatsoever.
We're living in a weird day and time.
And the anti-cheat claims to have the software to prove it, but they still ban you anyway. So like, it just, none of it makes any type of sense. The shadow ban is a very broad and mysterious and inconsistent feature about Ricochet. And what I mean by that is that for some people it's only a few days, and other it's up to like 3 weeks, and there's like no way to appeal it. And this has been a thing since it launched with Vanguard. And Activision and Ricochet to this day have never made any type of statement or updated the system whatsoever regarding these false shadow bans. They just accept it, and this is just a part of their already horrible anti-cheat. And I'm not even done with talking about how flawed this is. Once you're shadow banned, you're now recognized as a potential violator despite being proven to be innocent after exiting a shadow ban, which means your trust factor on your account is now lower, which results in even fewer reports to get you shadow banned again, causing what we call a shadow ban loop. Meanwhile, there are legit confirmed hackers that are flagged by Ricochet that are left untreated because they're waiting for that final ban from Activision, who maybe have like a team of 3 people who actually look at these reports. My shadow ban occurred just days after.
When someone gets headshots all the time, 24/7, something's wrong. When did they tweet this? I'm going work to combat cheating and replay. Over 19,000 play banned since the mode launched. Hourly sweeps remove cheaters. Thanks for your patience. Well,
after Activision announced they had banned 19,000 accounts accused for cheating. But shocker, even after that, there was still a massive cheating problem, especially in multiplayer ranked play. Meanwhile, legit players are getting put in these shadow ban lobbies in these like limited matchmaking state, despite being like maybe above average, in my case, like very mid at the game. But the false bans don't stop there. I want to dive into like one of the more recent stories that happened that kind of like showcases how terrible this anti-cheat is, and also shows how like weirdly stubborn and how much praise Activision has for Ricochet. Bobby Poffa is a well-known Warzone streamer who tackles the Battle Royale nuke grind very well and created a subgenre of Warzone content that I really enjoy. Anyways, just a few months ago, he was hit with a permanent ban.
Which is weird because he hasn't cheated, in my opinion.
Oh, dark?
People may have their suspicions and whatever, but I don't think he does.
No, a permanent ban is no joke with the never wrong and extremely accurate Ricochet anti-cheat. And this is what they have to say about perma bans. If you see a permanent ban, those are given with the most serious considerations after a significant research. It doesn't matter what excuses people give, there are no false permanent bans.
I think they have given false permanent bans in the past. They have given false permanent bans and they don't own up to it.
And especially after reading this statement, it's kind of like, oh, well, this has to be true, you know? Like, people were left in a really weird spot. That being said, the community was pretty quick to hop on the Bobby Puff hate train, you know, saying they always knew he was cheating. How did he just now get caught? He's the worst person ever, yada yada. Well, as any streamer would, Bobby was contacting Activision like, hey, I didn't cheat, guys. There's got to be a mistake. Something is wrong. Maybe it's my foot pedal that is causing the software issue, or like, could external accounts manipulate my account to make it look like it's cheating? And Activision's like, nope, our permanent ban system is 100% accurate. We review it carefully, you know, all this stupid stuff.
They were very firm. They're like, no, it is impossible. There's no possible way a hacker can manipulate your account to make it think that you have cheats on your machine. That would flag Ricochet. That could not happen.
Anyways, long story short, it ended up being hackers in-game were able to manipulate his account to make it look like it was cheating, which Activision denied was possible when he asked them if that was the case.
And then
they don't do their research, right? For a multi-billion-dollar company, billion with a B, they don't do their research.
Activision finally found out that there was an exploit going around where hackers could manipulate your account, making Ricochet think that you have
that allows you to falsely remotely permaban anyone from Call of Duty by reason of cheating, even if you're not in the lobby. Exploit was found by someone else who does not represent most of the game hacking community. He has abused this exploit to get thousands of COD players falsely banned since nearly the start of the year using an auto hotkey script, which automates the process for him. I was not aware of the extent that he abused an exploit until today. I did not know about the exploit for a while now, and I validated it was real by asking him to ban some accounts, which he did. Nuke Jesus, Parasite, and Censor. Wow. I believe Bobby Puff and several others were victims of this exploit, along with thousands of random COD players, but I do not have Activision's ID or info to vindicate them. I also figured through about the exploit early on to add about protections for PO external users. With the exploiters attempt to be used on you, it would be blocked.
You had cheats on your machine when really you never did. It was the hacker. So
and once this was discovered, Activision did like reinstate his account, but the damage had already been done. People had already written him off as a cheater, and a lot of people just kind of like abandoned him as a fan. Regardless of what's going
I think those who believe in you as a person, right, whether you watch me or don't watch me, watch Ornery, don't watch him, Bobby Puff, and anyone who does play Call of Duty, right, if you wholeheartedly believe in someone who does not cheat and their gameplay shows it, there's nothing to say. Until you're innocent until proven guilty, right? So you can't just accuse someone of cheating. That's like saying you go to your parents and you go, you stole my driver's license, when clearly it's still in your wallet and they haven't touched your driver's license even though you moved out 20 years ago. It doesn't make sense.
Going on today, I mean, like, he's bounced back very well, which is really good to see. But, I mean, there's no denying that he had to have seen some type of dip in viewership throughout that period of time, which in turn caused him to lose money and his reputation, all because of a stupid false ban to a faulty anti-cheat. And on top of that, and maybe the worst part about all of this, was Activision didn't apologize or even acknowledge that Bobby was falsely banned. The only way to clear his name was through his own videos and content, which, might I add, is so extremely unprofessional for Activision to like ruin somebody's reputation and then just be like, oh yeah, it was something that happened, but we're not even gonna like acknowledge it. The least they could do is just like make a broad statement saying, hey, our permanent ban system is flawed. There are people who got banned that shouldn't have, you know, just something like that to at least like include Bobby Puff under that umbrella. Hell, even Call of Shame retracted and deleted his videos and statements about Bobby Puff, which is really showing how innocent he was.
Wow.
Shout out to Call of Shame.
I didn't know that.
Call of Shame came into my chat after this happened and apologized to me.
Anyways, Bobby has a really good video.
Wait, so what did he do to retract his statement for the longest time saying he was cheating? I knew that, but what did he do to realize that he wasn't cheating in his eyes?
Detailing his experience that will give you more context and come from the man himself, so check that out after this. I'll leave that link down below. But I want to bring up one more story showcasing how far cheaters can actually make it in competitive play.
Was there a cheater in the World Series?
The World Series of Warzone is the grandest stage for Warzone, and to make it there in the first place, a lot of time and work is required. But where BZ had the ambition to take on this task with his teammates, Vexo and Ave, who decided to pick him up in this journey. Well, long story short, Vexo and Ave were both cheating the entire time. More specifically, since February of this year, and didn't get caught until the last chance qualifier, which was in July. The cheats they were using were basically like a diet aimbot, if I had to like explain it in like broad terms. To my understanding, it's like a recoil and aim smoothness that auto aims and keeps you on the player but still requires some type of aim, which in turn I think would also give you wall hacks. But once he was caught, which I'll explain how he got caught later, it is actually pathetic. There's a conversation that Robizi, who is the non-cheater, I want to make that painfully clear, with Vexo, the guy who is cheating. And let me tell you, this is one of the most pathetic conversations I've ever heard in my life.
We shouldn't have got caught in the first place.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have got caught. You thought you were gonna get. Well, you're gonna go to land and drop 3 like WAG. What do you do with your life? What do you do with your? That's insane. What do you do with your life, bro? You don't go to school. You don't have a job. Your parents are millionaires. They pay for everything, bro. And you thought you were gonna skate your way to World Series land? You were yacked, and we still didn't qual.
Literally, it only happened because of dumb shit. DMs got exposed.
Well, what did you think would happen? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because they would have gone to World Series, and those guys would have been caught regardless. So they would have been out pretty quickly. Because as soon as the first game comes in, he would have been fine. Right? Robizi would have been fine. But Vexo and this other guy would have been immediately been... Like, everyone would have been like, wait a minute, something is off about this.
Rich! Your parents are rich! You drove a Porsche!
I want to make a career for myself, Rob. Like, bro.
That don't make sense.
Get the f out of here, bro. You're a coward.
Yeah, so I think you get the picture here. Vexo's just like an absolute loser, and I really don't like to throw that term around.
We haven't
but
seen
I mean,
him
like,
since,
this
though.
is just
I don't
like
think he's been
very
heard from since.
First and foremost, you got to pour one out for our boy Robizi. I mean, he just got absolutely screwed in this situation. I feel terrible for him. But secondly, everyone who played against this team is also cheated out of a major opportunity for the World Series of Warzone. Funny enough, even with these cheats, they didn't get caught until after the fact, and also didn't even qualify in the first place, which is hilarious. Like, you can't even cheat correctly.
But that's
and also,
unfortunate
the
for
whole reason
Robizi,
they
though.
even got caught was from leaked Discord DMs. But anyways,
wait a minute.
and also the whole
6 if we're losing. As long as the smoothness is up for the FOV, it doesn't matter too much. 6 is preposterous. It's actually not too bad.
reason they even got caught was from leaked Discord DMs.
But if we can... Wait, the smoothness is the other part that makes it not look crazy. But if I can watch Otter blatantly wall his way to finals, damn straight we can too.
But anyways, this whole situation exists because of a terrible anti-cheat. It's awful that we have players doing this kind of thing, but the fact that they can make it quite literally to the closest possible threshold outside of qualifying for the World Series of Warzone, only to get caught after the fact, showcases how horrible this anti-cheat is. And when I mean close, I mean like they came in 5th, and they needed to come in 4th to qualify for World Series of Warzone.
Right.
I think it was like by 3 points or something. I mean, they were like so close to making it to land. And of course, Activision had nothing to say about this situation and just sort of like ignored it entirely. But the part that really bothers me about this is it took away opportunities from the other legit players in these lobbies to make it to land. And I don't care what anyone says, well, there's a team of 3 people and 2 of them are cheating. That for sure skews any results for like that entire match. And as far as I know, I don't think there's any evidence showing that Vexo's account even got banned despite like admitting to it on paper. And like I said, the anti-cheat...
What? I thought there was a video out there that did say on Twitter that he did get banned. What? If that leak never came out of off gameplay alone, you wouldn't even tell. This is me when I was legit got sus, like me pre-aiming a wall. I've been PC checked in past, and I even just found out how to cam with walls. How to cam with walls on. The scene is shocked. I don't care enough. Yeah, I did that anyway. No, if I'd have guessed it. Just got greedy. No, that's not an excuse, but if you really believe me, Chef and Annoy are the only people that did it. You're just blatantly wrong. I'll put it to you like this. I'm decent at hiding it. Not everyone is dumb F like Chef. This means nothing to me.
Says it can detect external software that manipulates the game files. Which to me, a software that gives you soft aim and like wall hacks sounds like it's manipulating the game files kind of like dramatically. But even with 6 months of using this kind of software, it goes unnoticed and without repercussion.
His dog was in the corner. He was like, oh, I just want to go out and do something real quick.
Activision has this really like weird, proud and prideful relationship with Ricochet anti-cheat that makes us think that it's here to stay. My belief is they spent a lot of money on this partnership, so they can't just like get rid of them and find another anti-cheat to take their place. That being said, when these terrible incidents or borderline features of this anti-cheat happen, they just brush over and don't learn from it whatsoever. But if I had to change just one thing about this anti-cheat, it would have to be the shadow ban system.
Yeah.
Please, if somehow, some way, anyone from Activision is watching this, let it be known known that that is just like the top priority about this anti-cheat that needs to be changed. Please just do something, even just about the shadow ban process. At least let players request some type of manual appeal or send over like a type of PC check. I don't know. As far as the cheating problem, well, despite constant tweets about Bandwave seemingly taking care of the issue, I think it's just part of the Call of Duty experience.
There should be a way for them to send a link to you and you open it up and it'll be like almost like a conference call, right? And they're going to say, okay, we'll send you another link in the conference call, right? So when you're talking to them, they'll say, okay, open this link up. What it's going to do, it's going to allow us to look into your computer for anything that looks really suspicious, right? And we're going to point it out. And if you can't explain that, then all bets are off. But if you can explain what that is, or we see something that's generally with the PC that's there, we're good. But if something's there that we like, and you can't explain it, then you're screwed. I think there should be a way.
For the foreseeable future, which is just so sad to see such a massive title like end up this way. And in the middle of me editing this, Activision actually released a statement about the anti-cheat, which is super rare, but basically taking like some form of accountability for season 1, like admitting they didn't hit the mark, which is great and all, but they're also saying that they're not really going to be able to fix the problem or like even attempt to fix it till season 2 or 3, which that is just like not really something the community wanted to hear. I mean, season 2 is like 45 days away, and that's like the very earliest they said they could tackle this issue. But in my opinion, they're probably not going to get around to it till like season 3 or 4. I don't understand why they can't just under promise and over deliver. Black Ops 6 multiplayer ranked is just awful right now, and once you get to like Diamond and above, it's just cheater central. And despite reports, I mean, nothing gets done about it. I mean, like, the future for Call of Duty is honestly kind of scary because of the cheating issue. But that's all I have for you guys. Y'all should join my Discord if you're feeling crazy, and if you liked, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, and thank you so much for watching.
Nah, his picture on his profile is funny. Nah, there should be a way to, like, when I was saying that you should be on a conference call with them and all that stuff, that should be a way to put it through and say, hey, is you or is you not cheating, right? Is you or is you not? God, this game, it's a love and hate relationship. What are you gonna do about it? Not much we can do, but we just gotta pray they're gonna do something about it sooner rather than later, because the later they wait for something to happen means that it's already too late and people cheating are gonna continue cheating and it just doesn't get any better. They're basically giving them some reprieve and say, continue cheating, it's all good. But if you want to check out Ornery, he's got good videos. They're really nice, well done, like this one is. The flow is good, keeps you in there. But I did talk too much, so I apologize for that. But it's Warzone.